of Nelson, northern Washington County. This includes Willisburg. We keep that severe thunderstorm. Velocities, check if we see any debris. I doubt we do at this point, but we'll keep an eye on it because the tornado warning is still in effect.
Yeah, no debris at this point. The velocity is just...
It's not there.
It's hard to see anything at all at this point. You know, we did have some impressive scans before with this storm, and if we kind of pair it back in time here, and I'll move this over so you can see what we've been tracking here. When it was near Tell City, you know, there were some questions about right here, west of Tell City, like what were we seeing, what part of the storm was this in, but by the time it got to Tell City, it became a little bit more impressive here, and you know, just for a few scans, looked like it was something, and now we're back to a whole lot of nothing. It seems at this point the rotation is likely fallen out of this storm. We'll see if it tries to pulse back up again, but when you compare it to what the actual storm structure looks like, it's still pretty impressive when it comes to the actual, like, you know, reflectivity on here. We've still got that hook shape on there, so this is not to be discarded just yet.
Let's see, just a little bit of lightning with this particular storm as it makes its way northwest of Hardinsburg. So if we've got any rotation, it's near the Addison community right there along the Ohio River. It's going just north of Cloverport at this point.
And speaking of that area, we do have Corey Trent, by the way, in Irvington. If the control room can get that you know, spun up for us so that we can show that feed, that would be great. But Corey Trent, our storm chaser tonight, who's been gracious to us here in Irvington, will be able to provide us with a little bit of video, perhaps.
So there's that rotation. Thank you, Ryan. I didn't realize Corey was still out there for us tonight. He's been tracking a lot of these supercells. They move through one after another throughout the night. And we had some interesting looks earlier tonight, Ryan. I think that was in Harrison County along 135.
Yeah, that was, we're starting to see some lowerings, and that was a problem. That's typically kind of indicative that you've got some rotation in a storm like that. You're pointing out the rotation down there, Addison.
Yeah, it's still there. You've mentioned the regular radar that you have behind you there. It still has a good look to it. The rotation's just not as intense as it was earlier, but it is still there. So we'll keep the tornado warning in place for another 22 minutes, 21 minutes now, as we hit 9 minutes after the hour. Here's Highway 144 in Breckenridge County, kind of wraps around the Ohio River, north of Highway 60 up towards Addison. Here's Sample. Here's Highway 259. There's US 60. Cloverport right here. You go, I don't know, 3-4 miles north of Cloverport, if that. That's where we may have some of that rotation still holding on. It does not look as impressive as it did when the tornado warning came out. It doesn't look as impressive as it did 15 minutes ago. But there is still that possibility for maybe a quick spin up here as this storm eventually crosses the Ohio River for the last time in its life cycle into northern Breckenridge County and out of Perry County. Check the debris. There's nothing there. So we don't believe there's a tornado on the ground at this time. Could there be a quick spin up? Sure, but when we're looking at the debris tracker, there's nothing that screams right now we have a tornado on the ground. You see the red box, the red tornado warning box, getting adjusted just a little bit. Notice Perry County, in fact, is now completely out of this tornado warning. So if you live in Perry County, Indiana, you're all clear. The tornado warning has been canceled for you. This is exclusively now an issue for Breckenridge County until 12:30 Central Time. Weather Service still watching the storm 7 miles northwest of Hardinsburg. So Hardinsburg, right down here, just off our map, 7 miles to the north and west, we still have that possible rotation crossing right over Highway 144 at this point. So here's 144. There's Highway 60. If we've got a possible tornado, it's about a mile north of that intersection between 144 and Highway 60. Cloverport, you are now all clear from this tornado warning. That rotation has gone just to the north and east of town as expected. Check the velocities once again. This is an outdated velocity scan. We'll get a new update here momentarily, but still nothing overly alarming at this stage of the game. So that's the only tornado warning that we have in Wave Country. Do want to mention again as we take the map full real quick, still have that severe thunderstorm warning for Nelson and Washington counties in Kentucky. That too goes until 1:45 this Monday morning. And you notice all these flash flood warnings right along and just north of I-64. This is where we saw buckets of rain earlier tonight. The rainfall rates were off the charts, Ryan, with these storms earlier tonight, and that's the main issue now north of 64.
Okay, we've got Corey Trent's live stream up in this middle box just under me here. He is headed west on Highway 60 toward Hardinsburg at this time. You can see all the lightning there. Again, this is a live view of the tornado warning storm that we're now taking full on your screen here. This is Highway 60 in central Breckinridge County, heading into the Hardinsburg area. We're still a bit away from the storm. If I have to, kind of estimate here how far he is away, it looks like if I can kind of measure here by the distance here, he's probably a good maybe 10 miles away from the storm at this time. So maybe 10, 15 miles away, so he can certainly see the lightning, but it's going to be hard to see some structure until he gets a little closer in. But as that storm moves east and he moves west, he'll intercept it pretty quickly here, so probably in the next 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, so he's going to be able, you said, about 10 miles from the storm?
Somewhere around there.
Okay, so he's got a really good vantage point as he's driving up Highway 60 of this thing as it's going to the north. By and large, of Highway 60. So hopefully we can get some good views of that. You can see all the lightning with this storm still holding on. But again, Corey Trent, thankful for having his live shots throughout the evening. It's come in handy, there's no doubt. Even in the darkest of night, you can only rely on lightning to see anything that might be fishy going on in the atmosphere. We're still watching it, and we appreciate Corey being out with us so late tonight. So again, he's down along Highway 60 near Hardinsburg, looking north and west into this possible tornado. Let's go back to the velocities. And again, this tornado warning is exclusively now for Breckinridge County for another 17 minutes until 12:30 Central Time. The rotation's still there. It's very noisy, which means there's nothing overly tight. There's nothing that indicates a tornado is occurring at the moment, but that rotation is still there. And like we mentioned, the further east these storms are going to go tonight, they're going to move in a less favorable environment, not only to be producing tornadoes, but to even be severe. So we're going to get to a point, hopefully within the next hour, to where we're just talking about some loud thunderstorms for the rest of your Sunday night and into Monday morning. But for now, we keep that tornado warning up until 12:30. Possible tornado just south of Addison, just crossed Highway 144. It's going to be moving through those northern parts of Breckinridge County here at this late hour. Let's zoom in. I'm going to do another street level view of some of these neighborhood streets that are in the path of this possible tornado. And then Ryan, I'm going to go to you for an update on that Nelson and Washington storm here in just a second.
Can do.
Here's Highway 259. Here's Sample, Mystic. We haven't called out you guys tonight. If you're in Mystic, we still want you in your safe place. There's Highway 86 that goes through Mystic. Lodiburg, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that. Clifton Mills right here just off the map to the east. If you live in those parts of Breckinridge County, you've got very heavy rain. You're probably hearing a ton of thunder, seeing a lot of lightning. Just off to the west, there's still just enough rotation where we may have a quick tornado here develop in that northern part of Breckinridge County here over the next few minutes, Ryan.
Okay, there are only 3 warnings within the Commonwealth of Kentucky right now, the severe tornado variety, and 2 of those are in our counties. One of those 2 warnings is a severe thunderstorm warning now that's moving through Tatham Springs. This is just north of Willisburg. This is heading through northern Washington County, Kentucky at this time. This is now mostly out of the Nelson County area here. You can see there's definitely some wind packing in this thing. There's this near Tatham Springs here, about 35 miles per hour on the kind of away side of things. The toward part of it, about 8 to 10 miles per hour. So we're really just at that baseline severe thunderstorm warning with this. This is the least impressive of the 2 warnings that we're monitoring here. Lightning, small hail, gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour, probably going to be more commonly 30 to 50 miles per hour. Now moving toward Cardwell. This is Hardesty is in the warning, but I think it's going to miss you just to the north. Willisburg, you guys might take this on the chin. So hello, Willisburg, Kentucky. It's getting ready to get pretty loud and very heavy rain outside your window here in just a few minutes.
All right, good stuff, Ryan. Thanks. That warning is until 1:45. The Weather Service is watching maybe a little downburst moving over Fort Knox. Nobody lives in that part of wave country because it is on the installation, of course. But we're watching that one thunderstorm crossing out of Hardin into western Bullitt County, southern Bullitt County. Maybe some gusty winds for those of you near Shepherdsville, Bernheim Forest, Lebanon Junction. That's southern half of Bullitt County. Not a severe storm, but something we're still watching. We keep the tornado warning in place for Breckenridge County until 1:30 Eastern Time, 12:30 Central Time for those of you in Breckenridge County. Now, before I zoom back in on the tornado warning, I want to draw your attention to additional heavy thunderstorms that continue to develop to our north and west, as we have expected leading up to this alert day. As the night was going to go on, we would slowly shift away from the wind and tornado concern more to a risk for flooding. You know, flash flood warnings continue for Crawford, Harrison, parts of Floyd, Clark, Scott, Washington, and Jefferson counties in southern Indiana. As we go through the rest of this night, the severe weather threat will be winding down, but with these heavy storms moving over areas that have already seen several inches of rain just tonight alone, it's not going to take much more rain to cause new flooding concerns. And that's really the big reason why we keep our wave weather alert day in place until at least 6 o'clock Monday morning. And we could still have more downpours to deal with after 6 o'clock Monday morning. So slowly but surely we are shifting to a flooding threat. But we still got the tornado warning. So let's zoom back in on that tornado warning for Breckenridge County, northern Breckenridge County especially, until 1:30. And it still has a decent structure to it when you're talking about could it be potentially producing, or does it have that capability to produce a tornado. Let's go to the radar view, or the velocity I should say. And oops, that was the debris. I don't see much debris. Yeah, there's still some rotation, but you see, that's the thing, Ryan. It's hard to tell if it's rotation or if it's contamination, especially as it gets closer to Fort Knox.
It can be tough. Yeah, I think in this particular instance, this does line up okay.
Yeah.
It's not perfect, but nothing ever is, right? And you may have the radar scans being taken at slightly different times. That can sometimes happen in our system here. So I would say certainly this storm still bears watching. It is just not like it was earlier. But boy, that reflectivity presentation here with that hook on it, I mean, that is not what you want to see at 1:18 a.m. Heading into central Breckenridge County here when folks are trying to sleep. So again, if you happen to know anybody, Hardensburg, Clifton Mills, anywhere south of Sample, I think Cloverport's kind of in the clear now, so they're in good shape. But if you know anybody in those other areas, give them a call. Say, hey, it's time to make sure you're up and at them.
Yeah, we got that possible rotation right here. This is just south of Addison, just southwest of Sample. Irvington, Garfield, that eastern part of Breckenridge County, you're technically not in the tornado warning yet, but the National Weather Service has been rather cautious tonight, understandably so, with potential tornado warnings. So we'll have to wait and see if they decide to extend this warning further east, because like Ryan mentioned, this storm still has a decent looking structure with it.
Let's take Corey Trent's live stream full here if we want to. He's kind of stopped in a position looking straight into the updraft face of the storm. It looks like, if my kind of headspace is correct on where he is and what he's looking at. But you see a lot of lightning. It's kind of hard with the bright lights of what looks like a radio tower nearby, in the distance there. But you can certainly see, turn off his headlights, so it makes it a little easier to see with some of those lightning flashes. Maybe a little bit of a lowering there.
I was wondering that.
Like kind of the top right-hand side of your screen a bit over the tree line. You can only see at night these lowerings in these storms and the potential for any funnel clouds when you have lightning. And the lightning is what illuminates the base of the cloud. It's what shows, kind of what we're seeing in real time there, but you only get snapshots of that. He's turned on his headlights again there. It looks like he's on a farm road toward Farmstead there.
Yeah, so, and that's the hard part of nighttime storm chasing, as you and I know very well, Ryan, especially chasing out in the plains.
Yeah.
Good lightning strike there.
Wow.
But also, the big difference
Thank
with
you for
us
letting
in
us
wave
watch
country
it.
versus
You're
storm
welcome.
chasing in the plains is we have a lot of hills and trees, and that makes it very difficult to chase any kinds of storms.
Where y'all tuning in from?
Right now.
Okay, between Irvington and Hardensburg. So yeah, he's got a good view of this, looking west-northwest, I suppose, somewhere along Highway 60, I'd imagine. in that part of Breckenridge County. So we appreciate Corey. He's been showing us his live stream throughout the night. It's been incredibly helpful, especially with that supercell we had in southern Harrison County earlier tonight, which same story with that one earlier, Ryan. It had such good structure with it for quite some time, but it was just never able to really produce a long-lasting tornado. And don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about that at all, but these storms have been rather impressive throughout the night. Anything of concern with that severe storm for Washington?
No, not at this time.
Okay.
You know, the structure looked a little better, kind of more of that, I don't even want to call it symmetrical, but it just kind of had more of that signature-looking shape to it, that kind of kidney shape that we look for in a severe thunderstorm for any sort of rotation. But if you look under the hood, everything's pretty slow when it comes to wind speed. Willisburg, you guys are getting it right now, as we said you would. That is now moving in. The spot that we're watching on this storm, if there is to be a spot, is this little nub right here. It's kind of that hook shape at the bottom edge of it. That is a new radar scan here, so we'll see if there's a new velocity scan that comes with it. Not really. So this is a storm that continues to have our interest, but it doesn't have, you know, as much oomph as the storm to our west with the tornado warning on it. And we still also continue to watch the downpour, really, that's over the Fort Knox area. This is parts of Bullitt and Hardin counties, and you'll see that things are not all that impressive there either. So we are in pretty good shape with those two storms. I think we'll be able to escape any major consequences with those. It's just this guy out here in northern Breck is just not wanting to completely go away just yet.
Now, as it stands, the Weather Service does not believe they're going to extend this tornado warning east.
Okay.
So
Which makes sense. We just haven't had any reports out of it. The velocity has fallen out of it.
you can have a good-looking storm on regular radar all day, but if it doesn't have that rotation with it, if it hasn't produced any big damage, if there's been no confirmed reports of any touchdowns, then at some point those tornado warnings will be allowed to expire. So as it stands, hopefully we can drop this tornado warning in about 10 minutes, or 7 minutes I should say. Although right as I say that, Ryan, do you see that newest report in the chat? Maybe we can confirm that before we address it, but there's still some rotation here. So we're going to keep an eye on it. In the middle box, you see Corey Trent's live shot. He is between Hardinsburg and Irvington. They're in eastern Breckenridge County, and he's probably looking west-northwest into this rotation in Breckenridge County. The bottom right, I'm trying to see which SkyTrack camera that is we have punched up. I think it's Bardstown.
Yeah, we got Bardstown punched up for that.
So what you're seeing in the bottom right box here is our Bardstown SkyTrack camera looking towards that severe thunderstorm in Washington County, Kentucky, north of Willisburg. But go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, so at this point, you know, there was a report of sort of a lowering in this storm, perhaps, from just a few minutes ago, not long ago. Hard to say. Again, we're at night, visibility is low. The storm structure itself, while it looks impressive on the reflectivity, the velocity just doesn't really owe to any sort of like actual continued tornado threat, which is why NWS Louisville doesn't believe they're going to go tornado downstream. I'll be frank, we get a lot of reports of wall clouds. They happen a lot. Those are somewhat common. Not saying this is a false report or anything like that, but often you'll see at night that, you know, sometimes you'll get scud that arranges into a structure that kind of looks like a wall cloud. Sometimes you can see other types of clouds within the storm that may look like a wall cloud. It's hard with the visibility here. So, you know, we don't want to discount the report, certainly don't want to, but at this time it just doesn't match up with what we're seeing on the radar at this point and what the National Weather Service is also thinking too.
All right, so we're about 5 minutes away from the expiration of this tornado warning, hopefully, at about 12:30 Breckenridge County time, Central Time, of course. Let's do a big picture view. We'll zoom things out all the way, kind of give you that wide view of where we're heading for the rest of this Monday morning now, I suppose. One severe thunderstorm warning for northern Washington County. Technically still includes that northeastern corner of Nelson, but the storm is out of Nelson. It's into northern Washington. And even then, it'll be out of Washington County momentarily. So that one severe thunderstorm warning is with us until 1:45. We've got the tornado warning for Breckenridge County until 12:30 Central Time. And again, we've had perhaps one or two reports of a lowering, maybe a wall cloud with this storm, but the rotation just has not been too terribly strong here over the last half hour or so. And again, the further into the night we go, and as these storms slide eastward, they'll continue to lose that punch that they need to maintain that severe strength. Having said that, we still have flash flood warnings in effect for Crawford, Harrison, Floyd, Clark, Jefferson, Scott, and Washington counties in southern Indiana. All of those flash flood warnings continue through about 2 o'clock this morning, but you still notice to our west and northwest, more showers and thunderstorms keep firing up. Again, the cold front is still to our north and west, so it's going to be a loud night for some of you. You're going to have more rounds of heavy rain, not necessarily severe weather, not necessarily tornadoes, but additional showers and storms will continue to move in from the north and west throughout the night. And especially if you saw several inches of rain earlier this evening with those severe storms that we were tracking, it's not going to take much more heavy rain to cause additional flooding. So if you don't have to be out at 1:30 on a Monday morning, just lay low. Try to get some rest for the rest of this night. And if you do have to be out, be extremely, extremely careful. It's so tough. It's almost impossible to see floodwaters this time of night. So the tornado warning for Breckinridge County is going to be allowed to expire. So no new tornado warnings. And that tornado warning for northern Breckinridge County is about to be off the board here in about 2 minutes. So again, as we go through the rest of the night, we transition slowly but surely. We're still seeing that transition now, away from severe storms, away from damaging winds and tornadoes, to more of a heavy rain and flooding threat. So we are going to keep our wave weather alert day in place until at least 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, as that risk for more heavy thunderstorms moves in. Again, the ground is just so incredibly waterlogged, going back to all the storms we had Wednesday night into Thursday morning, all the heavy rainstorms we've seen so far tonight. Additional flooding issues could develop as the night goes on. Go ahead and plan on giving yourself plenty of extra time to get to work tomorrow morning. An extra 10, 15 minutes, not a bad idea at all. But we'll keep these scattered showers and storms with us through the rest of the overnight hours. Tawana Andrew will be here on Wave News Sunrise here in about 3 hours or so with the latest updates on recapping the storms that we've seen so far tonight, as well as the latest on the heavy rain threat that we'll continue to see through the rest of this overnight and into parts of your Monday morning. We'll start to wrap things up, hopefully go back to regular programming right at 1:30 if we can. Go back to Ryan as we have some final thoughts. We hopefully wind down our coverage for the night, Ryan.
Yeah, we're going to be winding down our coverage here probably right at 1:30 just because of the warning being able to expire here. And that's where we are going to find the potential of course, for continued thunderstorm action with this thing as it moves into parts of Meade County, as it moves into Hardin County. But I think the tornado threat has largely subsided with this. So I really think that we're kind of at the tail end of the worst of this here. And our plan for the rest of the evening, by the way, because this tornado warning is getting ready to completely fall off the board here at 1:30, despite NWS trying to expire that early here. We will continue on our live stream if there is a tornado warning. We're going to give us a little downtime here, prepare for sunrise, that severe thunderstorm warning that's in northern Washington County. That storm is exiting right this second. So we're going to enter a phase of this, Carson, where we have 0 warnings, and we're going to let all of the streams and our coverage kind of fade away here. But we will be here. And we will be here if of course, we have severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warnings overnight tonight. If there are any additional, but for now, I think we can rest a little bit.
Yes, we can, and we thank all of you who've been watching us going back to 6 o'clock this evening when Brian and I gave you our first update of the evening. We started our nonstop severe weather coverage at 7:15, and we've been going now for over 6 hours. But we are going to wind down our severe weather coverage for the time being. We're still here. We're not going anywhere. Ryan and I are going to stick around for a little while longer. Tawana Andrew is going to be coming in shortly to take us through the rest of the overnight and through Wave News Sunrise tomorrow morning. Get some rest. The tornado warning for Breckinridge County has been allowed to expire. Just don't be surprised to hear some thunder and heavier rain throughout the night. And be careful as you head out early Monday morning. For meteorologist Ryan Hoke and the entire Wave Storm Tracking team, I'm meteorologist Carson Meredith. We'll send you back to regular programming.
Mm-hmm.